Hey guys, could you just, I mean, now that, you said earlier that waiting for this night seemed like a long time. Now that it's here, what do you feel about your first pick?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're really excited. An opportunity for us to bring a player to New York that's has a lot of special qualities and a player that we've obviously admired for a long time. So the opportunity to win the lottery and then have the night finally come. It's a special night, I believe, for our organization as we're going to move forward. I think our entire organization is excited, and I'm sure our fan base is too, to have this finally come tonight.
Okay, we'll go back to John Morrow. John, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Just wondering for Jeff, why do you think there are the few trades? And for John, what do you make of how surreal this thing was, but how it kind of came together? We had an Alex Trebek sighting, introducing a pick. We had the poignant moment with Crystal Howard-Chuck, and just how different this was as a draft.
Well, I think John, as far as the whole draft, we've waited a long time to get to this point. The NHL put it together with all the teams, and they did a great job with it. And then to have it happen like it did, the Weisblatt family in the last pick, they've been up against it. And for them to see their son get drafted in the first round, it's just special. The Alex Trebek thing, I happen to be a Jeopardy fan. I watch it just about every night. And to see that happen, it kind of came out of the blue. It was fantastic. He's always promoting hockey. For Dale Howard-Chuck's wife, I many years ago did a lot of Winnipeg games on television, and I know how good of a hockey player in person Dale Howard-Chuck was. Jack McElhargy, they talked about, a scout who passed away, who used to play and was one tough guy. All these things made the whole draft so human. And then to see the picks and to see the reactions by the families, it was all there. It was a very special night, I think, for the NHL. And for us, a very special night for the New York Rangers. We are very happy when we see the faces of our scouts with our two picks. This is one happy group.
Yeah, John, just to finish on as far as the trades, obviously we made one, and there's some movement in the draft up and down, but you're probably alluding to, players being traded. It's hard to say. I would say to you the league is watching what's going on. There's obviously a flat cap that has a lot to do with it right now, and people are trying to move some things in and out. So I can't speak for everybody, but that would be my best guess of what's going on.
Next question from Bruce Beck with NBC. Go ahead, Bruce.
Jeff, how would you describe Alexis? He's been mentioned in the same breath in terms of a Sidney Crosby type player. So how would you describe him?
Listen, I think he's a great talent that has a lot of things going for him. He's got skills, skating, he can shoot, he's got great vision, he plays hard, he's got leadership capabilities. He has big moment capabilities. He's always come through in clutch time. So, I think it's really unfair to have a guy walk in the league and compare him to maybe one of the greatest guys that ever played in the league. But let's say this, at first overall, we're certainly happy with our player, and we really look forward to, the day we can get him into camp and get him acclimated and become, a Ranger full time.
Next question from Dan Rosen with NHL.com. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I guess, Jeff, playing off of that, I mean, it's such a strange time. There's so many restrictions. I mean, Alexis couldn't even have anybody in his house other than his family there. Can you even have an expectation for when he will get to New York and when, you can finally meet him in person, I guess?
Yeah, I think that we're all the same. Like, you guys are probably asking the same questions we're asking and trying to figure out when would be a good time. But, with quarantine and going back to Canada the way it is, and the situation, we're going to have to take it day by day. We've spent a lot of time talking about what he's doing and we're pretty happy with what he's been doing right now for his workouts and his skating and who he's skating with. But we'll ramp that up as we go forward next week and try to come up with a game plan. But we're like the rest of the world, right? We're trying to figure this part out and what's next.
Next question from Molly Walker with the New York Post. Go ahead, Molly.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking the time. What was behind the move to trade up for Schneider? What about him was worth giving up those 2 picks for him?
Well, he's when you make a trade like that, obviously we had him very high on our list. He's a player we've coveted for a while. He's been on the draft scene for a little bit. He played as an underage above his age. So we've seen him a lot. We know him a lot. Listen, he has high character. If you watch the playoffs this year, you saw a lot of players like him that had success. He's very hard to play against. He can move a puck. He's got good size. He has the high character, the leadership capabilities. You speak to him. He's very mature. He knows his game. He understands exactly how he has to play. I just think when you put it all together and you combine that with how high we had him on the list, we just thought moving up and giving up a 3rd round pick to move up some spots there was a good decision for us going forward.
Next question from Colin Stevenson with Newsday. Go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, hi, gentlemen. Gary said that Gary Bettman said that the new target, I guess, now for starting the season is going to be January 1st as opposed to December 1st. And I just wanted to know, what does that do for you guys in terms of your scheduling and whatever off-season plans you had left? I mean, how does that change things for you?
I don't think it changes a whole lot, Colin. It's a good question because, the original plan was to try to play in December. It's now been moved to January. The world out there is a dangerous place right now for everyone in North America. And we're trying to find a way to get back to normal, but we can't do it until there's some solutions to the world's problems. Now, with us in our business, with hockey, we're keeping track of what players we have in Europe and who's playing. We're keeping track of how workouts are going on this side of the pond and who's going to be playing where. We're doing what we can. Of course, we have to still prepare. We got a draft tomorrow. We've got free agency coming up. We've got arbitration. So we're busy, but it's not normal. So we're trying to do the best we can to keep all of our players and scouts and coaches engaged with everything that we possibly can get them engaged with, and to make sure they're ready when the time comes. It's tough on everybody. Even our scouts, we're trying to do, you can see some games in Quebec. You can see a little bit over in Europe. So we're doing that. There's the world of the video, which we're doing as much as possible. So we're doing our part that way. It's just not normal.
Next question from Vince Mercogliano with the Journal News. Go ahead, Vince.
Hey, guys. For Jeff, how early in this process, once you knew you had the number 1 pick, was it clear to you that Alexis was your guy, and why did he jump out to you as the guy that stood above the rest?
I think when the ball came out of the machine, Vince, we knew he was going to be our guy. And, for us, it was pretty clear cut how we felt about him. And, we didn't speak to him prior to the lottery because, it's a lottery, right? We didn't think we had a chance. And then when you win the lottery, you're like, you start, diving a little more into it. And, like flying, he passes with flying colors in most things, and all things really. And, there was really no, there wasn't a lot of debate as far as our number 1 player. And so I guess it's a long-winded answer, but that's what I have.
Next question from Alan Credo with the Times. Go ahead, Alan.
Thank you. Hi, JD and Jeff. Great to see you both. Hope you're well. Overall, what is this like? Crazy 2020 for all of us, but for you guys to look down and see all the young talent you have now, and to have been through picking 8 first-rounders over the past 3 years, what does it feel like?
Well, for me, it feels great. When you're in this process of trying to become a championship club, you have to have players that are great players and going to become great players, and find a way to get them there. We've invested a lot into our development coaches to try to work with everybody. We can work with each one individually. You know, it's just, we feel real good about where we are. We've come a long ways. I think I've only been here a year, but Jeff has been working at it for a couple of years. We've come a long ways. There's been some very difficult decisions, but to get to that end, to the championship, this is what you have to do. And today, for us, we feel getting our 2 picks here in the first round, we obviously with number 1, we've got a player that's got skill, character, power, a little bit of everything, and very mature. And then with Schneider, you're getting a real high character individual, plays the game the right way, and may just sneak up on a lot of people with his offense as he moves along. So these are the types of pieces that you just really look at and you go, oh man, this is great. We're in a good spot. And for our fans, you know what? Come watch us grow, because we're going to be doing a lot of growing, and it's going to be a lot of fun to work towards that result.
Next question, and I apologize in advance on the pronunciation, from Simon Olivier Lafreniere. Go ahead, Simon.
Pronunciation was not so bad. Question is for Jeff. Rimouski team just started its season in the Q. Do you feel that there's a possibility that Alexis is lent to do Oceanic so he can play 2 or 3 months before the season starts in the NHL?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I don't think we're ready to answer that. You know, we always looked at it like, let's get through the draft. Let's sit down with the young man. Let's talk to his people and his parents and figure out what's going to be next for him. So we really haven't thought that far ahead, Simone. You know, it's a really exciting time to select him, and we're going to enjoy the evening and tomorrow hopefully have a good day again, and then next week I think we'll start to figure out exactly once we get through free agency a little bit and some things. So a little premature for that answer, but a good question.
Another question from Bruce Beck. Go ahead, Bruce.
JD talked a little bit about your supporters, but what's your overall message to the fans about the team you've assembled, including the components that you've selected tonight as you look ahead to January 2021?
Hi, Bruce. I think that our message to the fans would be, we're excited. We're really excited. I mean, it's not very often in one's lifetime in the world of sports that you win a lottery and you go number 1 overall. I mean, that's magical and fortunate. And we just feel that when we start looking at the players that we have, you know, we've got this Panarins and Zibanejad and Fox and Kreider, and it goes on and on. Shesterkin, Georgia, we're in pretty good shape right now. But we keep trying to get better and better, and we have to go through the experience of playing games. You have to go through the experience of development. So we're right in the middle of the thick of things. I just know that when you think of our club where we are, we've got a lot of really strong, very strong assets. This is fun. This for us is a blast. And again, I'll say it to our fans, come and watch us grow. This is going to be fun. You're going to see these young players develop and become great players right before your eyes. And we'll go through it and have fun with it.
Next question from Rick Carpinello. Go ahead, Rick.
Thanks for pronouncing my name correctly, Ryan.
You got it.
Yeah. Jeff, can you shed any light on your QOs for the restricted guys and shed any light also on Ryan Strome and where he is right now?
No, not really. The QOs are due tomorrow at 5. We've sent some out, and others we've held back. So I really don't want to talk about it right now. But I'd be happy to, after day 2 of the draft, to answer your question.
Another question from Dan Rosen. Go ahead, Dan.
I would hope you get Rosen right, so that's good. Jeff, I got to ask, because usually it comes across whenever anybody has a number 1 pick. Were you at all close to moving the pick? And is Alexis a Ranger next season?
Were we at all close to moving the pick? No. I would say my answer to that would be most of the time people called me, they had a mask on and it wasn't for COVID. So no, we weren't close to doing anything. And then will Alexi be a Ranger? Is that your question?
next year.
Next season?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so. We never give out a job right now, but certainly we would expect, that to happen. But, we'll see. I mean, COVID is, we'll see what happens. But we're pretty excited to get him, and we'll go from there.
Okay, last question of the night comes from Vince Mercogliano. Go ahead, Vince.
Jeff, you had talked about the possibility of moving a pick for a player that could help you right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not going to give me names unless you want to. I'll take them. But did you come close? Were you tempted by anything with that 22 pick before you moved it for Schneider? And in particular, do you feel like you guys need to make any move at the center position in the next few days?
Well, it's hard to say whether we're going to make a move for the center. We might draft one. But as far as adding to our roster, I don't know. I mean, there is a lot of conversations right now, Vince, about players around the league and moving and the prices. So it definitely could happen. Were we close to moving our pick tonight for an NHL player? I don't think so. We had a lot of conversations over the last couple of weeks about that. At the end of the day, when we moved up, I think it says a lot about how we felt about Schneider. And there was an opportunity there where we just thought, going forward with our group, his element was something that was really, I think, a good blend of what we had already.